Hey, Gary here. Welcome to BookMob episode 105. Today I'm going to be talking about Jack Carr's latest book, The Fourth Option, written with MP Woodward. Now, Jack Carr is well known in ex-SEAL, who has written 8 novels about his famous SEAL operator, James Reece. Now, in his latest book, The Fourth Option, it's kind of more about a return to 1970s literature. I think he has taken the idea from Morrell's First Blood and has tried to, or attempted to, bring the war on terror, the GWOT, back to American shores, the way that David Morrell brought the Vietnam War back into the United States. And David Morrell's First Blood is about showing the horrible, disgusting, nasty aspects of a war on people, troops, civilians, akin to the fact that a country at war has no civilians. And I think David Morrell produced a wonderful, and in my last episode, I talked about First Blood, the novel, not the film, the novel, and how he just went through layers of political and ideological platitudes that the character Rambo, who, and I'll let you read the book and you can find out for yourself, but the character Rambo, John Rambo, an ex-Vietnam veteran, comes to a small town in America, and just from a simple interaction, 2 people, one, the sheriff from a former old school type Second World War, Korean War type veteran, as opposed to the new political game of a young man who's been thrust into war in the 60s and 70s. Now, the fourth option takes this idea of bringing the war home to Afghanistan, from Afghanistan into America. But Jack Carr doesn't quite go all the way with his truth, with his sincerity, because there is an element of, I wouldn't say it's Disneyfication, it's more like he stops halfway from going the full frontal, bringing the war home, as David Morrell achieved with his character, Rambo. In this novel, there is the sense that things that happened in the past, due to joining the military, government programs, political sort of intrigue, and how a war far away comes home. But in this sense, the war only comes home in the mindset of the character. It's his own struggle with what he has done and what he wants to achieve in his post-military career. But it doesn't go far enough. It doesn't have the same powerful bringing the war home genre as John Rambo in Morrell's First Blood novel. Look, it's a fun novel. It's great to read. It's very entertaining. I do recommend it because Jack Carr has caught a element of a marketing genre where people are sick and tired of the platitudes given to warriors in Hollywood. He tries to create a character who is confused, who is fucked up, who is conflicted, and yet at the same time, he still has that sense of civility, that sense of sincerity. Whereas David Morrell's Rambo's is lost. He's not insane. He's simply tired of the way the world, his community treated him when he returned to Vietnam. So I think there is similarities between these 2 very entertaining novels. This one is superior in its sincerity. It does have grisly and horrible set pieces. And in Jack Carr's book, there is also some horrible sequences, but I still think that even, and this is just purely my opinion, I think Jack Carr was trying to reach the same levels of David Morrell. When he created Rambo, he was trying to produce a conflicted, unhappy, confused character who is faced with the reality of peacetime. And in First Blood, it's an abomination when these two things meet. The sheriff and Rambo are two people from two different eras, yet they both have the same experiences in war, in political climates that made them do things that they did not imagine they would ever do. Whereas the fourth option kind of softens the blow of the returning soldier, the returning warrior who has worked, who has been a professional in the arms, who has been a professional killer, who has worked as a soldier under a hierarchical situation where he follows orders. Now that he's home, his life has been destroyed. His social existence is basically one of a wanderer who doesn't have anywhere to lay his head. So there is an option in the story where he can find out that there is room for his tools to be used in modern day America. But again, I think that Carr falls short of actually providing a really, really intense backward glance at the warrior coming home from an unwanted war into a society that demands that these people just reintegrate without any sense of the experiences they've gone through. Still, an entertaining read, and I think Carr was kind of celebrating this great book, but he doesn't go all the way, and maybe that's a sign of the times. Maybe that's the world, the artistic world we live in, where you cannot have such a beautiful character at the same time being so ugly and nasty and transporting the experiences in Vietnam or the experience in Afghanistan and putting them into play in small town USA. I will say that it's worth reading. It's a fun read. It's a good read, but it doesn't have the intellectual capacity that Morrell provided in First Blood. All right, thanks for that. That was just a short review. I just finished Harlan Coburn's I Will Find You. Great book, very fun read. And I'm almost finished Harlan Coburn's Runaway, which is another great book. And I don't know who Travis Deverell is, but I was impressed by this cover. He Who Fights with Monsters. I know nothing about it. I can't wait to get stuck into it and see what it's got to offer me. So that's it for BookMob this episode. Hope you tune in next time and keep reading, buy books, steal books, borrow books, but give them back. And remember, if you've got books you don't want, give them away. Think about going to places where people want secondhand books because it's better than just throwing them away. Anyway, thanks for coming, and I'll see you next time. Bye.